But it was just following the Spirit. I don't think anybody should be at a loss for things to do and for ideas. There's so many. Do you dare to walk where you have never been? I remember as a kid when I would lose something, and I'm talking about a tie, I'd be looking for a sock or looking for something, and I didn't know quite where it was in the room. And I'd go look in a drawer, and I'd go to the table, and I'd go under the bed, and I'd come back and look in the drawer, and look at the table and go onto the bed. And after the fifth time, my mother would stop me and say, "Harry, let me ask you something. Has it ever occurred to you that what you're looking for isn't where you're looking? How often you got to look under the bed before you know it's not under the bed? How often you got to go to the drawer or wherever you're going? I've been watching you going in a circle. You got to look where you're not looking." And I think that one of the ways to break the mold is to do you dare to go where you've never been before. Do you dare to look and listen to a point of view that may in the past have sounded alien or disturbing, and just took a peek and see what it really has to say and what it has to offer. One of the great successes of any movement is to overcome difference and to overcome rigid definitions that were intended to maintain the human spirit rather than inspire it. And I say to you that there was so much opportunity. As I made this film, for the young people at the very end of the film, I'm in the prison systems in America. We have the largest prison population in the world, larger than China, larger than Russia. Absolutely. Don't challenge me. You won't win. The UN reports, police organizations, international tribunals, everybody knows that. And I'm not talking about just political prisoners and people. You challenge that? You think differently?
No, I mean, I'm not sure, because I grew up in Siberia, and Siberia is full of...
I didn't say there weren't a lot of prisoners in Siberia. I wasn't making a disclaimer for the fact that there are no prisoners in Russia or anywhere else for that. I'm saying the largest population by all measure.
Yeah.
And Siberia is no longer a secret. Satellites know what's going on. CIA know what's going on. Everybody. Siberia used to be a secret. It's not any longer. Now, back to my point. Largest prison population in the world is the United States. The largest component within that prison system are young black people. With that fact, I go into the prison system, talk to the prisoners, talk to young people, and you saw them on the screen in those meetings we held in communities that are filled with upheaval and doubt and strife. And all of those young people feel our greatest strength is in our collective. Our greatest sense of opportunity is in this collective. And I would make one little very oversimplified suggestion. I have no idea where it'll go, because I'm not going to stick around and take notes on it, or that everybody in this room at this moment who is selected to be part of this post-screening dialogue would exchange information about who each of you are to the other, and chose to find some way to continue this dialogue and to integrate with what we're doing, and ask for ideas and thoughts. We might be able to send things and engage you in a way that will open up this opportunity to greater vistas. That means if you're a filmmaker, I can give you endless filmmaking opportunities. If you're talking about race and you're of African descent, I can show you a million places where the diaspora is at work and what's going on. It's just all there. So this collective said, hey, let's just take this opportunity and mark it as a starting day. Where do you live? Here's my phone number, here's my email, give me a call. You may have a 50% fall off, but those who do call can help start some kind of a film component that does nothing but commits itself to social truth and rebel adventure. No? Yes?
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Back to the question. Very patient.
My question is a bit political, it's out of context from the film. With President Obama's approval ratings hanging on a thread currently, do you foresee another black man becoming president of the United States?
You said that President Obama's what is hanging on?
Approval ratings gone down.
Is not anything to write home
Approval
about.
rating.
Okay. First of all, I must tell you, quite frankly, I really have no great interest in another black man becoming president. That's a racial card that I think is playing itself out. That will not dismiss the fact that we have grave racial problems. But what you set your sights on has to rise above the fray. Polls that say he's popular will be the very same polls that will tell you a week from now that he's more popular than he was last week. These polls are filled with vested interests in people who go after hearing the vote they want rather than hearing the vote that really exists. Barack Obama is first and foremost a human being that has somewhere in his construct flaws. They're all flawed. And I don't know that a black man is necessarily, as a black man, something to be pursued as an object. What difference does race make? Bobby Kennedy wasn't black, but his spirit and his soul was as pure and as meaningful to black people as any black man that spoke in his time. Maybe Dr. King had an edge on him, but there was not great difference and great distance. Bobby Kennedy wound up, in terms of his politics and his moral commitment, was far greater than is being revealed by Barack Obama at this moment. Barack Obama has missed a lot that people had expectations of him to end the war in Afghanistan, to step away from Iraq, to end the draconian laws that exist in America that are as primitive and as negative as any law Germany could have, or Russia could have thought of having. That you can be arrested in the dead of night without anybody knowing it, without any justice process. You can be arrested and the arresting officers don't have to tell you what you're arrested for. You cannot make a call for legal representation. Your family will not necessarily know where you are. They can spirit you out of the country, as our records officially reveal, and they can interrogate you under the suspicion that you are a terrorist. But nothing more violates the civil order. Nothing more violates the concept of civilization than something like that. That you make a fellow human being completely powerless and you can abuse them as you feel. Well, Barack Obama doesn't need the process of the Congress to change that. He's executive with enormous power. It's a stroke of the pen. By executive order, he can say no human being will ever be arrested again under these conditions, signed President Barack Obama. He's chosen not to do that. That's a moral decision. It's not politics. It's not anything. It's immoral, completely immoral, that one could do that to a fellow human being and make it a matter of law. So being black does not carry a criteria that suggests it's something we should lust for. To have black representation on a lot of levels is a desired thing for the growth of our civilization. But we should have more Native Americans too. A lot of Indians who have been robbed of their birthright and their condition. They were the first victims of American genocide. When they ran out of Indians and killed them all off, they went and got slaves. And it didn't make much difference that the slaves came from Africa. They could have come from anywhere, as long as they were slaves. So that when you look at how these things evolve and what we yearn for should no longer be defined exclusively by the reason of race. I think you can use race as an illustration of what oppression has been in the past. But Gaddafi is not white. Mobutu was not white. A lot of people who have governed Africa are not white. There are men who are leaders that were taken to lofty positions to do the right thing, and they were like white men, they were corrupted by power. And as a great philosopher once said, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, and it's no arbiter to race. And I am very prideful of race, so I don't mean to dismiss us as something that's indifferent or of no consequence. But it's what you say, it's what you do, what's your mission, what's the deepest part of you care about. And if it is as full as it should be, it transcends race, transcends gender. It's the deeper core of the human heart and the human spirit. And all those things are waiting to be filled. It doesn't just have to be Avatar. It doesn't just have to be, you know, what happened to Britney Spears this week. Or me, for that matter. It's about, where do you look? Where do you really want to go? What are you really hunting for? It's nice to hear it as a flair of the moment and that you were touched by the film. You had this moment of passion, but where does it go when you walk out of this room? What do you do next? What do you really look for? And if you need to get in touch with me, I'm in the internet. Give me a holler. And write something that provokes me.
Hello, thank you for this amazing life experience you share with us. My name is Luis, I'm from Portugal.
From where?
From Portugal. What's happening in Portugal nowadays is a bit what's happening with Black Americans too, because we have a big Black community too, and I grew up in a ghetto, like maybe in a smaller proportion, not like America, but it was like that, and a lot of crime and everything, and many black young people arrested because of this. And my goal to come to London was to study criminology, so I can
Criminology?
yeah,
Yeah.
so I can understand how can I help my, I can say, my people, because what I have seen in the time I was growing up, and all the injustice I see, I try to make a difference, not helping them after they are in the crime world and everything, but before. And I would like to know if you have anything to tell me that could help me help those people when I graduate and everything, and if you can give me some advice in that matter.